Banana bread can be a bit ubiquitous since it's one of the easiest ways to use up bananas that are about to go rotten on you. But there's a reason people keep making banana bread. It's so good and it's so easy. And this recipe in particular is one that has garnered me rave reviews every time I make it. Yes! Oh, give me more banana bread. Best banana bread ever! Oh my gosh, I love it! That's a dramatic reenactment, but I think you get what I'm going for there. And I don't know, but I'm inclined to agree with them. It's really freaking good. Plus, it's quick to come together, and that is always a win when you're pressed for time. And who isn't pressed for time? Hi, if you're new here, welcome. I'm Christine and I'm a photographer by trade and a maker at heart. I love helping people learn how to make from scratch, whether that's sewing your own clothes or baking your own food. So let's jump in. This recipe makes 2 loaves, which is great because you can give one away to someone you care about. I'll probably give one to my neighbor, and then you can keep one for yourself and enjoy it. And you really should because it is so delicious. But if you don't need to make 2 loaves, you can always have the recipe too. That's totally doable. First things first, you're gonna wanna preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Next, grease your pans. This will help you remove the bread easily after it's done baking. I typically just grease the pan with a little bit of butter and then you're good to go and get started. So the first thing you'll need for banana bread is obviously bananas. That's always helpful. You're gonna need about 4 medium to large bananas that should be very, very ripe. And you could really have very dark bananas and that would be totally fine. Actually, probably preferable for this recipe. And if you wanted to, you could speed up the process by roasting them in the oven a little bit, but I'm just gonna stick with these freckly guys and we're gonna start mashing these up. So it's pretty simple. It's as easy as it sounds. You're just gonna throw your bananas into a large bowl and we're gonna put the dry ingredients in this later. So just make sure that you've got a bowl large enough to be able to incorporate those dry ingredients. Oh, I cannot wait. I love banana bread. I love it. It's like definitely something that I feel like I've made forever in a day. It's just easy, it's satisfying. It's called bread, but it might as well be cake. I mean, who are we kidding here? Maybe that's why I like it so much. Once you've got all your bananas in the bowl, just go ahead and start mashing them. Essentially, if they're a little bit juicier, that's kind of what you want. A little softer, but these will be just fine. I feel like my bananas always go rotten on me way before I want them to, but then, you know, then you get banana bread out of it. So it's always a win, right? If you're not a fan of a chunky banana piece in your banana bread, that is totally fine. And you are more than welcome to kind of mash this a little bit more or even puree it if you want. And it won't cause any issue. It'll just make for a more delicate crumb in your finished bread. The chunky banana version is just a touch more rustic, which nothing wrong with that either. In terms of measurements, this is gonna be about 2 cups or about 480 grams. Then add your 1 cup of brown sugar. Oh my God, it's solidified. Then add a 1/2 cup of melted unsalted butter. Next, you're gonna add in a 1/2 cup of whole milk. I never have whole milk on me, so I actually just used a mixture of almond milk and a little bit of extra heavy whipping cream that I had left over. It's okay if you kind of mix and match, not a big deal at all. And if I had only had almond milk on me, that would have been fine too. It would have been just a little less rich, which no big deal. Next, you're gonna add 2 eggs at room temperature. So be sure to get these out and let them hang out a little bit before you start working on your recipe. Then add 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Get out your wooden spoon and go ahead and start mixing. The nice thing about this recipe is that you do not need any sort of stand mixer or even an electric hand mixer. It can all be done by hand. So just go ahead and mix that up until everything is nicely combined. As you can tell, it's very liquidy, which is great. It's perfect. And you can also see all those banana chunks too, which is kind of great. I'm sort of stoked about that. Ooh, it smells so good. I'm so excited. It's not even baking yet. Also, sometimes I opera sing when I'm excited. My photo clients will definitely be able to tell you that. Now, let's move on to the dry ingredients. At least most of them, since the sugar's in here. Next, we're gonna whisk together 400 grams of all-purpose flour, which is about 3 1/3 cups. I like to weigh my ingredients because it just makes things a little bit more precise. Actually, one second. This is the scale I use. It's nothing fancy at all. It's Aquatronic by Salter. I use this thing all the time. The nice thing about weighing out your ingredients ahead of time, or even while you're in the midst of assembling whatever it is that you're making, it means that you actually have to dirty less dishes, which I'm always a fan of. So you don't have to dirty measuring cups, anything like that. You can just weigh everything. So it's just a really, really great little tool to have in your arsenal. Okay, what am I doing? Next, we're gonna add our 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Then we'll add 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda. Then we'll add 1.5 teaspoons of kosher salt. If you're using fine table salt, then you'll need half as much. Last but not least, you're gonna add in 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. Oh, I love cinnamon. I just love everything. That might that might be my kind of go-to in life. I just love everything that like smells good, it looks pretty. It's not a bad way to exist, I think. Then just whisk everything together, make sure it's nice and incorporated. Nothing fancy here. You could use a fork. You don't actually need a whisk, but a whisk does help. Shake that baby off. Okay, are you ready? It's time to combine dry and wet ingredients. Just stir it until you can no longer see any flour streaks. We'll just keep going a little bit more here until I can be sure that all that flour is incorporated. That is looking mighty good. Here we are. The moment of reckoning. Well, I don't know if it's a reckoning, but it's a moment of some sort. Here we go. Little tip, if you want to be able to get all the little bits of goodness from the bowl into the pan, go ahead and grab yourself a spatula and it'll make it easier to scrape up all those little bits. I told you, every last little bit of goodness. I'm gonna scrape it off the spoon too. This stuff is gold. It's like banana gold. I don't know if that's a thing. It's not a thing. It's definitely not a thing. Banana gold. TM. Banana gold TM. I'm such a weirdo. No more singing. Back to scooping. Here we go. Remember, your pans should be prepared. Tell them that batter's headed their way. No, sorry, that was really bad. Just make sure your pans are greased. Remember when we talked about that earlier? All right, 2 scoops for you, 2 scoops for you. Does anyone else talk to their food? Just me? No, it can't be just me. It smells so good. I can't wait to have this in my stomach. Or maybe you sing to your food, because I definitely do that too, clearly. Oh my gosh. Then you can kind of smooth it out if you want. Oh, I can't leave all that stuff on the spatula. I just cannot. That would just be a tragedy. That's like at least a teeny tiny bite. Also, my hands are clean for what it's worth. It's baking time. Baking of the banana bread. All you have to do, throw these in the oven. I usually put them on a middle rack and bake them for 50 minutes, 50, until you stick a skewer in the center of each of them and they come out clean. Now turn out your beautifully baked loaves onto a cooling rack to let cool before serving. You can kind of run a knife around the edges beforehand, or you can use an offset spatula too. Ooh yeah. And there we have it. Oh, look at this beautiful loaf. Doesn't that look delicious? And loaf 2. Absolutely gorgeous. Now it's, oh, he's excited. Now it's time to slice and taste. Oh, look at this. Look at this lusciousness. Oh, yes. It is so soft and tender. Oh my goodness. I probably don't need butter on this, but I don't know. There's something about banana bread and butter that I just kind of love. Time to try it out. Oh my goodness, this is just so lusciously soft and beautiful. Look at that. Here we go. Wow, chef's kiss. I cannot recommend this enough. It is so good. Like wherever you are, I think making banana bread makes you feel like you're home. And then do a little banana bread dance while you eat it because it's so good. Oh. If you like this video, stay tuned for the next one because I have lots more goodies to share with you all. All right, off to give this to my neighbor. Here we go. I gotta have more. I can't leave this alone.